Welcome to the most powerful astrological week and important event in our history. Hi, everybody. My name is Chloe Hudson, and thank you so much for joining me. This is World Peace Projects. So we have so much to talk about. Okay, so all astrologers and enthusiasts of astrology know that this week is par none the most significant astrological week that has occurred in our lifetime. So there is a stellium of planets and luminaries in Capricorn right now. On January 10 and 11, as most know, we have the Cancer lunar eclipse. So this in its own brings a massive shift in power. There is so much happening in regard to manifestation, into tyranny, into struggle, and we have already seen this coming into the new year. So I am here to talk about some very important experiences and what I'm terming the changing of the guards that is happening on the eclipse. Now, a lot of you who have been tuning in for a while and follow metaphysics avidly are aware that we have two factions. We have the Saturnian, the Cabal, the dark agenda. We have the Illuminati, the false white light agenda. And these two factions, two heads of the same beast, have been warring for a very long time. Ultimately, they control and dominate over our freedom and our sovereignty, though they have their own agendas. We have also gone into the Anunnaki understandings of the brothers Enlil and Enki, the sister Ninmah. So the eclipse on January 10-11 is an official changing of the guards from Enlil, Saturnian Cabal, dark, deep state agenda, over to Illuminati, false white light, Saint Germain agenda. Okay, now, if you have been following the primes, the humans with prime bloodline that are, out on the forefront for the masses through teaching, because most primes are not. So you may have noticed a theme, if you've picked up on this, of sullenness. Many primes have been very, I'm going to say sullen, because we are battling our asses off. We are battling so thoroughly right now in astral space, in anti-hacking measures, ensuring that the soul harvesting is kept to a minimum in the way that we can step in and interfere. So we've been talking about the grays and the hacking that is that much more apparent. Well, the moon, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of links so that you can follow certain information that is out that are going to give more details that I don't want to go into or am not as proficient as these people at. Though the moon is going to go through a changing of the guards, first of all, on 10 and 11, January 10 and 11. Now, I'm currently in Northern California, and I am visiting some friends, and a new friend that is not savvy to metaphysics. They're spiritual, they're open, but they're not in my world, right? We just happen to be talking. They have a stunning view of Northern California in the evening. We had a partial moon out, the stars are out, and they were like, oh, hey, a few days ago, we saw something that looked just like a moon. It looked like its own eclipse. It went over the moon, creating an eclipse. It was an object as big as the moon. It was crazy. And for me, because I'm aware that on the 10th and 11th, there is a shifting of the guards of the matrix. The matrix will shift. And if you're sensitive, you will feel it, okay? There's going to be a complete changing of hands officially. So I believe that they saw the new implementation being installed, okay? So what does this mean for us? Well, we've been talking about the difference between the two warring factions, right? Most of us, probably on this channel, would prefer that if there are going to be controls set into place, that the false white light is seemingly more appealing, okay? So for all of those who are ready to go back to the Garden of Eden and the paradise, here you go. Here's the changing of the guards where the false white light waves in, and the Cabal and Saturnian energies begrudgingly and angrily have to start moving out of the way, at least in regards to domination. Of course, they're still present. This is how it happens. And a whole new matrix style system of hacking will be uploaded. Now, don't get me wrong, we've been being hacked this whole time, right? And a lot of us are picking up on it because, you know, the Greys have been putting it through a big push right now to really get in there and anchor these hacks through addictions, through our sexual bodies, through false thought forms, you name it, right? They really want to get a strong hold so that when this shift happens, they have an upper hand, okay? So I am going to implore you, please, if you use substances of any kind, I don't care if it's alcohol, if it's cannabis, if it's preservative-laden foods, whatever it is, even cigarettes, try to abstain for the next several days. Make it through the eclipse completely clean and sober. I promise you, it is worth it. Okay? If there are any days in your lifetime that you want to show up and be clear and be aware as much as possible, especially in dream time, it is now. Okay? This is not meant to scare you. This is meant to empower you. You want to be clean and clear and in align with your heart space so you know what resonates and what doesn't. And you can see and spot, especially as the system will be vulnerable. The system will be vulnerable. It's always vulnerable in a changing of the guards. We know this. We watch movies, you know. When is the time when they come in and they break in or they hack something? When there's a shift in the guards, when there's a shift in the, the time, oh, taking my lunch break. Okay, so the shift is happening now. Be aware, feel it out, sense it out. Now, another thing that I am going to put out there and hope to assist in, if we can't do this in real time altogether, then let's do it in our own time. We don't have to accept the implementation of the false white light, okay? It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be that we access our sovereign origins and we stand for this through and through. And in that in-between space, when they're shifting the matrix, we can own our sovereign origins, that we don't consent to either. We don't pledge allegiance to either. We are our own sovereign being, okay? As Lauda Leon likes to say, as per the law, I command my authority. You do not own my soul. This is important. It's time to take a stand, okay? Now, many of us, because of the energetics of this eclipse, will have mass awakening as well. So there's always support. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to counter it. What's happening naturally and astrologically, they're working to counter, okay? So now it's time to double down on your shadow work, okay? If you are still having issues with getting clear on your sovereignty and your knowing and your access to self and your wisdom and, you know, trusting that whatever's thrown at you, no matter what illusory form it comes in, that you know self through and through. Even if you don't have conscious, full understanding of what's happening or who they are or this or that, you're aware. Some things like, that's a little off, or, ooh, I definitely resonate with that. If you're still teetering with this, it's time to double down on your shadow work, okay? And I would like to put out a big invitation. Throw the fear out the door. Throw it out the door, okay? There was an acronym that Christiana, you used about fear that I love so much. I wish I had written it down, but it was like exciting. It was like, this is time to celebrate, okay? The false evidence appearing real is such an old outdated hack, all right? So register for what it is. Register the frequency signature that we have all memorized through and through, and throw it out the damn door. Let's get over it already. This is not the time to activate fear. This is the reason we're here. What's happening right now, this is why we're incarnated. This is our mission. It's go time, guys. We have been training for this shit forever, literally ever. We are unstoppable, okay? It is time to go. Get sovereign, get activated, double down, get clean, get clear, and own your authority. It's our moment to step up and say, you know what? This is a great hack, okay? You guys have done a proficient job at this artificial matrices, right? It is impressive, and you still can't access original creation. I still own that. I still got that. You have not harvested my soul. I am still sovereign. I know my authority and my origins, and I stand up and I claim my prime, okay? I claim my prime. You can't stop me. And just like Osset said, and I'm going to link hers down below, and I was so happy to hear this because a lot of us have been hacked massively lately, are very aware of it, and to say the least, it is highly disconcerting, right? It's annoying as shit, and of course it's going to invoke fear because they come in and infiltrate on all sides through all people, right? Like, remember the statement in the Matrix where Morpheus says, you know, if they're not unplugged, if they're still in the Matrix, everybody is potentially Mr. Smith, okay? Well, experiencing that through everybody who's in the Matrix and watching Mr. Smith come through them to handle me, I'm going to use me. I'm watching it happening through people. I'm watching it happening through my family. I'm watching it happening through ex-partners. I'm watching it happening from friends, watching it happening from strangers. It's you know, potentially everything that has already been hacked can be accessed in that now moment to slide in and handle you. I don't say this to scare us because that's what's been happening the whole time. We're just waking up to it. So when you see it, right? I see it, I say, oh, that's intriguing. Look at that hack. I see that. And because I see it, if I don't react, I'm impervious. It doesn't matter. I see that's happening. I don't fault them, right? They're not writing that program. They're following the script that's been implemented into their subconscious that they're not even aware of. They don't even know why they said that. They don't know why they did that. They probably didn't even catch it, okay? That's fine, whatever. That's the Matrix. If it does get me, right, at least I still see, that's what that is, you know. Touche, Matrix. You accessed my emotional body and I reacted. Though I see you, I know what you are. And yes, I'm an emotional being, okay? So you still see it, and then you work to pull out the octopus tentacles that have slid in through these things, okay? So it's go time, guys. This is why we're here. So let me get back to Osset. What she said, which I really needed to hear, thank you, Osset, is she was telling a story about her lucid dreaming, which is super critical right now, guys. Most of us have been aware that our dream states are very active, and it's time to practice more diligently of how to lucid dream so that we can command our authority in dream space. So she said that basically, you know, and alluded to that she's being hacked and fucked with, and she finally realized they can't get her. She's just going to reassimilate. They kill her 1,000 times. She's going to reinsert into the Matrix and come back in the timeline that she requires with the prime bloodline that she requires. Okay? I'm really passionate about this right now because that was a huge epiphany for me, right? Because okay, regardless of fear pieces, when we're talking about people being targeted, there's the ultimate fear of death. You know, that's what they're trying to engage. Are they going to come after you? Are they going to take you out? You know, as we see with people who step up and say, you know, cancer was cured in the 70s and suddenly they wipe out all of the homeopathic doctors, right? So this fear might come up, but of course, you know, we're here, the primes specifically, the 144 are here to save this humanity origins DNA. We're here to save the souls so they don't get harvested, okay? It's go time. This is what we've been training for forever. This is what we've been doing in infinite timelines and all now moments, right? This is not a time of fear. This is the shit we live for. This is why we're here. This is the good stuff, right? Okay, so yeah, we'll just reinsert. And you know what? I'm actually aware I've already reinserted this life. Okay, I came in initially, my family doesn't know this, but I came in initially as what would be my aunt. My mom's older sister, who died at 12 in a motorcycle accident, you know, that was my initial insertion into this timeline. And for whatever reason, that body opted out, so I've reinserted it. You know, I had to wait another 30 years or whatever, but that's linear time. I just immediately stepped back in and reinserted, which probably gave me a re-up on the prime DNA anyway. All right, so it doesn't matter. We're just going to reinsert again. Let's get over the fear mongering. It's shake that off like a flea. It's old tech. It's old tech, okay? We've all learned how to breathe and calm our heart rate, right? We know how to bring it down from cardio aerobic exercise, same difference. Just get over the fear mongering, get it out of the way, and let's get passionate about it's go time. Now, I'm not saying to step up and say, you know, we have to fight, we have to do this. Of course, it's spiritual warfare, though we need to be clear on we access our origins. We understand the timelines and are holding our conscious energy in the timelines that are going to anchor in now moment, in this experience. We access the sovereign experiences already as we are helping our energetics, our frequency to synchronize with these timelines so that we manifest it collectively as our now moment experience. We also negate and clear out and block and defend any of the hacking that's coming at us, that's trying to pull our soul consciousness and energy out of the origin point, okay? So it's no longer efficient to only focus on, you know, the Garden of Eden, the new worlds, the 5D timeline in the way that you're not going to pay attention to any of the spiritual warfare and hacking that's happening. Okay. Now, if one is somebody who is maybe in Shambhala, let's say some of these monks that are holding space, okay, at the stargates, then maybe it is the most highly efficient experience for them to stay in synchronistic alignment in all now moments with the frequency of the fifth dimensional experience of our sovereign truth, okay? Though they're not engaging physically into the matrix in the way that we all are. We still need to be savvy and realize when we have to deflect or divert or block or understand, you know, the coding that they're bringing in through certain words or foods. We still have to actively participate while we hold the frequency, while we command the authority of the true origins that we are. Okay, so this is proactive work, guys. This is proactive. And it's time to know that we have to know thyself through and through. So as we're all learning to do that more, start watching the primes. okay? The ones that you resonate with, because they're helping you to activate your origin DNA in your being. You are accessing through consciousness and the all that is, the ability to access in now moment, the same ability that they may be accessing to know thyself, to be aware, to get the intel, to resonate with truth, to already understand what's happening without hearing it from anybody else, to see what's happening in front of them and know that that's not really what's happening, right? These false flags that are happening right now in the world, in the USA Corp, you know, many of us, the second we hear about it consciously, we're like, yeah, no, that's not what's happening. That's not what's actually happening, okay? So look to the primes to start activating your origins through and through, okay? And let's set aside the anti this or anti that, okay? All of us have bloodline that we would deem as malevolent. All of us have bloodline that we would deem as benevolent. All of us have aspects that have done everything in between, okay? We step up and we own that. It's just what it is. You know, whatever you are, whatever you've come into, you're gonna own that. So if you have infinite timelines where you have come in malevolent, you're gonna own that, because that's your truth in that timeline. That's honorable for that, you know, way of looking. If you're benevolent and you come in on that timeline, you're gonna own that, okay? Ownership is where it's at. Let's stop waffling and wavering and own up, because you command the way you want to present. So use that, right? I've had to come to terms with some pretty gnarly aspects lately, and they're powerful as anything. And I command what they're up to and how I'm going to align ultimately and what they're going to access, okay? So I use that access. I have infiltrated those dark areas, and now I can get in and thwart the systems. That's the point. So not everything is as it seems, guys, okay? And we have to know that and trust that through and through. Access your awareness of your origins. Be clear. It's a changing of the guards right now. People might get real weird around you as the new hack system is coming online. There's already been tons of hacking, okay? Get clear, and get clear of mind and body too right now. Be sober, be present, be clean, so that you can see what's happening while it's happening. And know that the astrological energetics of this time are extremely passionate. This is a Cancer lunar eclipse. People are going to be so emotional on both sides, right? They're going to be angrily passionate, and they're going to be sensually passionate, and they're going to be happy, and they're going to be sad, and it's okay. That's the energy of the times. There's so much going on, guys. So allow that to be happening, and you might even get caught up in it. That's fine. Ride the wave. Be conscious of what's happening, and that maybe you've been taken on that energetic wave, and that's okay. You're always going to come back to your homeostasis, all right? So pay attention. Notice the tiny little nuances. Utilize this energetic to wake up. There's going to be so many people that are going to wake up this week, and that is awesome. You're going to, you know, in a couple weeks, we're going to be like, wow, something happened, because it's obvious how many more people are now searching. They're hungry. They want to know what's going on. They need knowledge, right? It's awakening time. So of course, as usual, they're going to work, the controllers are going to work to counter that, okay? Be aware of the false white light, okay? Now, again, many of us might align with that. We might say, you know what? I don't believe that I have the ability to command and move out of that timeline that's going to implement, and I would rather that, because this is a short human life relatively. I'm not really too concerned of what's going on the soul level as much. So I'm just going to surrender to the experience of that, because it's going to be a lot nicer in my beliefs than the Saturnian dark. Okay, that's your preference. And be clear on that. In just don't necessarily, I'm going to request that you don't try to sway anybody out of moving past it all, right? It's like, we're done with duality. I don't want to pick the dark. I don't want to pick the false white light. I want to wipe away the whole veil and access origins. It doesn't have to be one or the other. No, it doesn't. There is true prime origin, authentic DNA access of creator source prime. Okay? That's what it's time to represent. Step into your truth. They cannot take that from you. They cannot create. They can still not create. Access your truth origins, your spirit align essence, and own that through and through. Let it strengthen in you. Let it become the most intimate of experiences and recognizable energetics and truth in your being, and know and trust that that is your origin. So that is expanding, and you own that. And in every now moment, it helps you to wake up that much more, no matter what is going on around you or what you're experiencing, what they're throwing at you. You own that through and through, and you command all of your soul aspects to align with spirit, to release what they have been entrapped and entrained and enslaved into, and align with spirit. You dissolve it instantly, okay? And stick with that. Do your shadow work. Do your shadow work, do your shadow work, do your shadow work, okay? Because the truth is, guys, I get that a lot of us want, I know that there's like this fear-mongering thing that's always kind of happening, but the thing is we're at go time, okay? So if we're still chomping on the cognitive dissonance of, oh my God, I'm scared, what do I do? Then you're still a leaf in the wind, okay? So why don't we start looking at fear as like one of those people that showed up to a beautiful, amazing phenomena of the world, right? And they're sitting there taking selfies. And they're blocking the view that people have traveled thousands of miles to see, because they got to get the right selfie of themselves. They still haven't even seen the amazing, magnificent colors that are right behind them that they're blocking with their big head in the way, right? It's like, get over the self-absorbed shit of fear. Be done with it, graduate it. That's like preschool time. We've done it a bajillion times, and move through and step up. Because if you incarnated now, you are here to step up. That's why you incarnated. This is what you have been training for. This is, I mean, and I'm not talking about this lifetime. This is what we were created for in a big way. This is what we created. I mean, this is it, okay? So let's get out of our own self-absorbed crap of the victim and the fear. Let's just put it away. I'm not saying that that's not real. I promise you. For any of my clients who have done work with me, I cry with you. I run the energy through my body, and it hurts. I feel it, you know? I understand. I'm not saying that that's not important and it's not real, but that's not why you're here. You're here to clear that shit so that you step up into your power and you say, you know what? I see you right now. I see the changing of the guards. I get what's up, guys. And I know, because you can see my light, that just because you've eluded those masses, right, doesn't matter. Because we know, the primes know, that they command origins. The primes are ready, and they're already coming together. There is no stopping them, no matter how many you try to subdue or take out. We see you, and we're coming. We're here. We own this. You've already lost. You've already lost, okay? So recognize the creation energetics. Be aware that we're sparking everybody around us, and it's not going to stop. It's just going to roll forward, right? And because we have inserted into every single timeline, as every single aspect and entity and being that is working to hack and implement the matrix, we understand the code. We wrote the code. We own it, okay? So there's that. And we're all waking up now. So own your shit, guys. It's time to own it. It's time to step up. All right, be aware. Changing of the guards, the matrix is shifting. There's a lot that's going to play out. It is not how it seems. It is not the reason that they're saying it is, okay? And I'm going to post some links with timestamps so you understand what I'm talking about, because it's not my place to say it. So you can see what's going on, and trust in that wherever you may be in the world, in whatever situation, in whatever a point of your awareness and awakening, that is exactly what you wanted as a soul being, okay? It's strategic, it's important, especially geographically. There are many of us that are plotted at certain grid points geographically to light up the grid. Okay, if you feel that you're in places, whether it be physically, emotionally, mentally, sexually, that don't suit you, then recognize the hack and bust out of it. Own it. Okay, do your shadow work and access the massive amount of manifestation energy right now during this eclipse portal. Okay, and own your truth. Because as the changing happens, stand in what you represent through and clear as day, so that you don't get swept into one line or swept into the other. You stand strong. I don't choose either. I go into origins. That's my truth. All right? I love you guys. We have so much to talk about, and I have a lot to share with you guys. I know that my energetics have been changing a lot in the way that I'm showing up. And I know that I'm probably losing some subscribers because I'm really passionate right now. But you know what? It's time to get real transparent. This is the year of transparency. I have so much to share with you guys about what I know, what's experiencing, what I'm learning. And that's really vulnerable, you know, but I am long used to people thinking that whatever I think or do or who I am or what I believe or who I think I talk to or whatever is crazy. So I'm kind of over that. It doesn't matter anymore. But I have a lot to share with you, and I'm no longer scared. Okay? I'm no longer scared of what I say and what I bring forward, which is what they don't want. They want us to stay scared so we don't share our truths. I'm not scared of it. I might have to be strategic as the controllers work to, you know, take channels down or clear out whatever, though I'm not scared anymore. And I'm going to show exactly who I am, and I'm going to bring out everybody's origins in the way that I came in to do, and I've been doing since the beginning. Okay? I love you guys. Be safe, be clean, be clear, own your origins. Represent, command your authority. You are creator source. You are so effing powerful. They cannot take your power. You are creation energetics. They don't have that. Point blank. They can't do it. This whole thing is to mock up the ability to create some kind of synthetic creator energetics, because they don't have the essence like you do. You're super special. You're super powerful. Okay? You take care. Happy eclipse.